Word. I don't know if you can tell yet, Ronnie, but I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you couldn't tell at all, man.
I'm here with Ronnie Flemming, Pittsburgh comedian of Don't Tell Pittsburgh
That's
fame.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, thanks for being on the Derek Luna show.
I appreciate it, man.
We're creating this thing as we go along.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm on the ground floor or something.
Yeah,
so I feel
you
good about
definitely
it.
are.
Yeah.
I wanted to just chat with you for a minute, man. We had such a fun show tonight. So Don't Tell Pittsburgh. Tons of awesome folks on the show. And yeah, just you were kind enough to give me a little bit of your time. I just wanted to talk to you. Talk to me about Don't Tell. Tell me what it is and how it got started. I know it's like a franchise thing.
Yeah. So it's almost like, so I do like the Don't Tell Pittsburgh. It's almost like a McDonald's franchise, right? So I have the Pittsburgh version of this. So, man, this is actually kind of embarrassing if I don't remember the origin. So I know like Kyle, so Kyle's the CEO, he started the whole thing, right? Kyle,
we don't need to drop names.
Yeah. So he goes by Kyle K.A., but it's a lot of syllables in his name.
Oh, okay.
So, but he started it in, I believe, San Diego. I think that's the main one out there. And yeah, just kind of like, I don't know if it was like So Far Sounds was the inspiration for it. So Far Sounds, they did like music, kind of like pop up, very similar.
Yeah, pop up venues.
Yeah. Or you just sort of like, Uber for comedy or something. But basically, it's the whole thing is that it's secret shows, so people don't know where the show is going to be until the day of, and then they get an address, they get like an email, or they get like it's sent to their email, and we get like incredible audiences.
And they don't know the performers either.
They don't know the performers either.
This is all just given to them the day of.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I swear they did one of these in Los Angeles that I did a long time ago. And
Yeah.
now do you know how many there are? They're all over the place now.
I think they're over 60, and they're international now. So there's one in Canada, there's one in London too.
That's awesome. And you don't find in a lot of, like I'm from Springfield, Missouri, you've got enough people to basically do the comedy club. We're really lucky to have a good comedy club.
Sure, that's great, yeah.
In a town that small. But man, it's reminded me of back in Los Angeles, we'd have these pop-up shows. I did shows in like a laundromat.
Of course.
And upstairs of a Chinese food restaurant.
Uh-huh.
I mean, those are just always just super fun. We did our own show in like a hair salon.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different vibe than like a comedy club.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, it's like this everyone's little secret or something.
Yeah.
So it depends, man. Sometimes it's like, if you don't, I like them a lot, for sure.
You digging it? I mean, is it a lot of work putting it together?
It's a lot of work, man, but it's fun, man. It's like, so I just moved to Pittsburgh, like last January. So I've been here for like a year and a few months.
Oh, okay.
And,
did you have family around here? Or?
No, man, I came because we're recording the Steel City Arts Foundation. So like, I got a grant. So it's kind of like the reason I came out here. So it was sort of like, usually people don't come from like from a bigger, place, a smaller, scene anyway. But it was part of this program here.
I feel like you saw that after COVID quite a bit. People were taking the opportunity to get out of like New York. And at least you saw it in Los Angeles.
Is that when you got to
Man, I got out maybe a year before.
Interesting.
And mine was more family related. We had a bunch of family members just start dying. and and nothing makes you think about, oh, shoot. Everybody's going to be dead. And I will have spent 12 years in Los Angeles. So
yeah, man, it's...
it makes you start thinking.
For sure.
Steel City Arts, though. Let's get off the depressing topic of my dead relatives.
Yeah.
That's cool. Though. What do they do here at Steel City Arts?
Well, it's basically like you just have to run the place for like whenever you want. So what time is it? It's like 11 o'clock p.m. We just kind of came in, so it's kind of like you have access to it. So they have different members and stuff, but then they also have 3 grantees that sort of stay rent free next door.
Oh, so, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why I came out. So I was like, it's like me, Kevin, who did the show tonight. He used to be my roommate. Yeah. So then he moved out to Indy, and But then I've learned more Joe Nasty, who came in from literally Zimbabwe. So he came out and you heard it here first, folks. This guy's gonna be fucking famous, man. He's JFL auditions, and he's just kind of like, but he's famous in South Africa, so they came out here, and it's like,
who's the Finnish guy? We can cut this out if I can't remember it. A guy from Finland who's been traveling around. I don't know. I love those international comics, though. It's like a completely different.
It's completely different, and it's also like maybe want to do like international stuff because it's just all data, right? So you're just kind of like, here's this kind of person, here's this, like the more shows you do, like like going on the road and stuff. So it's just like more data of like what works everywhere, and then I don't know. I think it kind of sharpens you a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say smooths out the edges, but I like sharpens better. It might be smooth or sharp. I don't know. Maybe mix.
That's an interesting way to look about it, because I travel around, and that's part of the whole thing.
For sure, yeah.
You're trying to travel to make your comedy better.
Yeah.
And then I guess taking it internationally would just be a whole nother level, right? You got to be relatable on
exactly, man.
Huge wide spectrum.
Yeah.
Have you ever played any international shows?
I've never been out of the country, man.
I haven't either, man. I haven't even been to New York City.
Yeah.
I got to do that.
I've been to LA, but I've never done shows out there.
Yeah. I live in Los Angeles. Let's talk about big city comedy. Big city comedy. Because we were mentioning earlier, you started in New York, and I started in Los Angeles. Now, typically, you want to start comedy in your hometown. Open mics and get pretty good.
Yep.
And so we both did this exactly the opposite of the way that you're traditional.
It's actually true, yeah. We also kind of went back, like this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm interested to see your perspective, because I felt like it made it harder in sometimes, and then there were other times where it was like kind of an advantage being thrown into the deep end.
For sure,
so fast. I feel like I was learning a lot early on.
Well, yeah, it's like a baptism by fire, right? So you have to get good faster, maybe. So it's just like, I mean, these, this person's been on TV, or this person's like headlining whatever. So it's just like the level of talent is so high. And then in New York anyway, it was like the time you had on stage was very short. So you had to get like, a lot of my jokes, especially in the beginning, were just like very quick, like not one-liners per se, but a lot of one-liners and just stuff. Boom, exactly, fastballs. Boom, 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 boom. And it wasn't until I did like the road and stuff, I'm like, okay, let's kind of, it doesn't always work for regular people.
Yeah, I mean, you can't throw fastballs for 20, 30 minutes straight. People get exhausted. Yeah. You got to change it up a little bit.
Exactly.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, man, it was just, I remember it was just like so many things. I was learning a lot, but I didn't realize it early on.
Yeah.
You're just on these shows and not keeping up very well. At least I didn't in the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember I had an open mic guy say like, well, you've got everybody's attention, but you don't really have much to say after that.
That's hilarious, man.
He was just the nicest he could. But can you imagine you're doing, I think my first open mic was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, which was a mixed open mic.
Yeah.
And so there's like guitar players and songwriters, and then I got up with my guitar and sang, talked about pussies and cocks and all sorts of gross stuff.
Sure, yeah.
But that's a fairly like famous establishment, the Rainbow Bar. I think that's in a Warren Zevon song, like.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
Lay down at the Rainbow Bar. And I was like, that's my first. It's the first time I ever did comedy. It was at that weird bar.
Yeah.
But there's just stuff like that where you're like, yeah, I played these places that were. I mean, like I played at the store. Just on these weird upstairs nights, before I was like 2 years in. Like, so you get these weird experiences that you probably shouldn't be getting yet.
Sure, yeah.
Did you feel like you had like some of the local New York guys kind of like, as you got a couple years in, you maybe fool them a little bit? Like they were like, how long have you been doing this? Where are you from originally? Where did you start doing comedy?
I didn't fool. I think like in the beginning, it's like you rub shoulders with people that are like super famous now or something, where it's like you're like, oh yeah, like, oh, I remember when we used to chop it up a little bit or whatever, and like you used to see me as a peer at one point or something like that.
Yeah, right?
Or
To see me as a peer.
it's like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, like, Tim Dillon would share your thing and was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, right?
But then you're just like, yeah. Oh, anyway, that's a weird thing to say. But it was just true. It was just sort of like, it's interesting, man. It's just kind of like this weird kind of like bizarre world where, and then you like, it's like now, I mean, this is maybe just a matter of like doing comedy for a while, but you just like see like newer people be like, oh, I fucking love so-and-so. And you're like, oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
you're just like,
I met that
guy. Yeah, okay. It's weird that he's like your hero, but I remember him fucking bombing or whatever else, or probably doing okay at this point,
Yeah, it is really weird because you'll end up in those shows where you're kind of. At least I felt like I was above my weight class, like starting out.
Oh, totally, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is to say too. I mean, I don't even know what that is to say. Yeah, I mean,
but that's what makes you. I mean, I was talking about it earlier with you. I mean, you're grateful for any stage time. You get a show like this, like our show tonight, where everybody was hitting home runs.
Oh yeah, everyone did very well. Yeah.
I'll post a list of the lineup, but I mean, it feels like it makes you better because the pressure's on. Everybody before you has been hitting home runs. Everybody afterwards is. Yeah. And it's fun to look back later and be like, did I hold my own?
Sure, yeah. Well, you definitely held your own.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
You're super kind.
No.
But yeah, you need those shows to like measure yourself, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's nice sometimes to be like, oh, I was the best person on the show. Yeah. But also when you're not, it's like, oh, fuck, I gotta work on this thing or this part or this part, or, the worst part is too when you're like, you listen to them say, you're like, I think I did pretty well. And you're just like, actually, that was kind of rough or something.
Yeah. And I've had this experience in the last couple of weeks where you have material that you've worked at home that is just crushing. Sure. And then you take it out on the road in front of a different crowd, and it's just like, what's going on with this? Like, nobody's into it. I started doing like detective work on looking back at my videos. It's like, maybe I was too fast, maybe I was too slow.
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
But all that stuff gets exposed. That's why. I guess that's why you do it. Do you ever miss New York? Yeah. You go back quite a bit, or you?
I go back sometimes. I did like everyone's got like a YouTube special or whatever. I recorded one out in Queens. Last September. I'm still like kind of working on the editing and stuff. Oh. So I haven't been back since then, but I do miss it, man. It's it's like. I mean, I miss it just for like personal reasons. Like my friends are out there. Like people I've known for like over 10 years. Out there. I do miss like. It's one of those things where it is kind of a bubble, but also it's like when you're in the bubble, you're just like, this is the only thing that matters. So when you're not in New York, it feels like anything that's happening outside of New York is like, it doesn't even exist. It's like, what are you doing? What do you do elsewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess like part of me is like FOMO of that, and also being like, but I exist. I'm doing something real. Yeah. But also just being like, no, everyone doesn't think I'm doing anything real.
Yeah, there's this idea that everything I'm doing is invisible.
Exactly, yeah. So, I don't know how I feel about it.
I heard this in some Ken Burns documentary thing, something about New York, where they said everybody in New York feels like everybody across that bridge is just the wasteland. So
it's totally true, man.
I don't know if everybody feels that way, but I think there's a mindset probably.
It's a little bit of like... what's it called? Something syndrome when you're like with your
Stockholm syndrome.
It's like Stockholm syndrome, but that's what makes New York great, or at least like everyone. It's like it's really hard to live there, right? Yeah. And it's like when you get out, like what the fuck was I doing that? But everyone just there, it's like, yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard here, and that's why everyone's like, I don't know. It's
the CrossFit of cities.
It's the CrossFit. It's like,
come on, you can do it.
And just like CrossFit, it's a cult, right?
Yeah.
So
everybody in New York's just flipping those huge tractor tires over. Yeah. You got any plans to go back soon?
I'm trying to think. I've got a tour coming up, but we're starting in Maryland. I don't know if I'm going to go back to New York. No, I don't.
Yeah?
I mean, I'll probably get back in the summertime.
Yeah, I don't have any plans to go to LA either.
Yeah.
My wife is a hairstylist. She still goes out to Los Angeles like once every 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
And I have gone back once since we moved back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I should. I can get a couple shows going. Why not?
Why not, man?
Yeah, you're right. Okay, a couple more things.
Sure.
I'll have to edit out that weird pause.
Or just leave it in, you know?
Pittsburgh. So you're new to Pittsburgh.
I'm new to Pittsburgh, yeah.
Dude, I'm driving in, and I've never been here. And
Yeah.
the bridges, it's like this city is stacked on top of each other.
For sure, yeah.
It reminds me of San Francisco, only
Absolutely.
just with bridges in between all the hills.
Exactly, yeah.
It kind of also reminds me if in like sci-fi cities, anything on like Star Wars or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
They show, there's roadways like all the way up. What are your thoughts on Pittsburgh now that I've shared mine?
Well, I've joked about this where it's like, I feel like it's prettier than people think. So that's also like, I think like Pittsburgh is better than you think it is. That's the thing.
I was really impressed just like looking around. I mean, I've spent 6 hours here, but
you think it's just gonna be like a wasteland. It's just sort of like smog and kind of factories and steel or whatever. But it's like there's a certain quaintness to it. There's like certain like views you can look at. Kind of looks like Peter Pan land or something. Like you kind of imagine like London or whatever, wherever else.
Yeah. The hills too this is a weird one. It reminds me of the terrain is like in northern Arkansas, like the Ozark Mountains.
Oh,
like
yeah, okay.
when you're driving around,
yeah,
I mean, if you could ignore the skyscrapers and stuff, it's just like up and down, switchbacks.
Yeah.
And everybody here seems super cool, super nice.
Pretty chill, man.
Nice people.
Yeah.
Maybe I was impressed because I was coming from Cleveland. Maybe that's why I was so impressed with Pittsburgh.
My girlfriend's from Cleveland, man. And I don't know what the deal is with Cleveland.
I don't know what's going on there.
It's just, I'm sure it's fine. Maybe I just haven't really discovered it or spent that much time there, but I've gone there and I'm just like, okay.
It's like you hear about the river being on fire. Yeah. And the first thing I saw when I saw the city was that, I don't know what factory it is that's just got a huge flame bursting up the top of it.
Dude, it's like fucking...
It felt like Mad Max or something. I just drove in and it was nighttime when I first drove in. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. And then...
Escape from LA vibes.
Yeah, or like Sauron from fucking Lord of the Rings or something.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, something's going on out there. I don't understand it, but yeah, Cleveland, they're all about Cleveland out there, but Pittsburgh is too. Pittsburgh's all about Pittsburgh, so.
I had fun in Cleveland, but it's just different vibes.
Yeah.
I feel like they're working in factories over there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They are here too. I don't know.
They are here too. It just seems just a little bit closer to God out here. I don't know.
Yeah, this is Lord's country.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Sunday yet. We won't preach at you. Let's wrap things up. Where can we find you online? Let's get your plugs out of the way. When's this special coming out? I'm excited about this.
We'll see. Hopefully it's coming out at the end of March. All that stuff will be at Ron_Flem. It's my Instagram handle, Twitter, TikTok. Go to RonnieFlemming.com for all my show info, my dates and stuff. And check out a show, Don't Tell Pittsburgh. We're doing these a few times a month, so please come out to a show.
Ronnie Flemming, Don't Tell Pittsburgh. Oh, I have one more question.
Let's do it, dude.
I hope this feels sensitive. I'm about to ask it, though.
Okay, here we go, dude. Yeah.
So, how did you're a great looking bald man.
Appreciate it, thank you.
And it's a tough thing, and my hair is doing a full-on retreat.
Okay, all right.
And I could see it it might be coming down the road.
Uh-huh.
What's this like? What was the decision? Was there a day that you were like, you know what, this is it?
There was a day, there was some denial. There's always going to be denial when it comes to
where I'm at.
Hair.
I'm like,
I see it though.
More hairspray.
I don't know how much hairspray you're using, but you get the mute. You get the okay. Anyway, so I always tell I don't know. I was just like, hold on while you still can. But
enjoy the good times.
Yeah, enjoy it, man. You still got it. I mean, it's I went bald early. I went bald like 25, right?
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm like mid-30s now. So it was like. Yeah, there was a moment I shaved my head because the wind would blow, and that was like my secrets are revealed. But
what's it on Tommy Boy when David Spade? That happens to me all the time.
Right? Yeah.
It was raining tonight. I was really worried about it.
Dude, that's the thing. The rain or the humidity. It's like there's no winning when your hair is thinning. For me, anyway. But I shaved it and then I grew it back, and I'm just like, screw it, man. But honestly, it was hard, but it was just, I needed to work out. I was like, started like lifting weights. I joined CrossFit.
There you
so
go.
That was the thing. I was just like, once I had that, I'm like, I got a foundation of whatever. I'm like, it's okay.
Arms look good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
bud.
I did arms today, so but it was it was that, and then and then growing the beard. So that was you got some facial hair, get the mustache and stuff. But
It's a Jason Statham path, isn't it?
It's all. There's only a few options for us bald guys.
Let's work these shoulders.
Exactly.
Let's grow this facial hair.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you're pulling it off, bud, and I'm probably going to be
Appreciate
there
it,
with you.
Yeah.
Is there any brotherhood between, like Larry David's always talking about, bald brotherhood between two bald guys who are like, I got your back?
No.
Doesn't
It
exist.
depends, man. Sometimes it's like, because if you're hanging with several bald guys, and then it's just like, it's like a funny thing to say, oh, what the, it's easy to like make fun of people. And I've been confused with several other bald people too. But it's like, what it is, man? I think it's two things. First off, guys will look at you and they will see something that they fear because they don't want to become you sometimes, right?
Huh.
So then for some people, I'm only a bald person. Everything that they will talk to me about is bald related, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's like them dealing with like an insecurity or a fear. Because I get it. 'Cause I used to like.
This is interesting.
It's a.
You've totally broken this all down.
I've had a lot of time to think about it. Okay, but then also there's a certain respect sometimes because it's like you survived, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like it's scary, man, and it's like you gotta it's like a new identity somehow. So I was like. I can talk about being bald forever, man. But in school, man, I was like, I had a shag. I had it in my eyes, man. I was like, this.
Yeah.
Like
you had the Bieber before Bieber.
I was at the Bieber before Bieber, dude. I was like, I had that my hair got me laid, right? And then when I lost it, I was just like, whoa, like what am I gonna do? So
man,
it took a while to kind of figure it out, but once you got there, I'm just like, I'm happy to be here.
Dude, that's where I'm at. I'm at this line where I'm like, how would it be better to stop clinging to these scraps and just?
I don't know, man. Like I think it looks good with your
work on the shoulders. I think that's.
And you just it's fine.
I think that's the moral of the story. Well, Ronnie Flemming, thanks for doing this, bud.
Of course,
I appreciate
man. It's fun, dude.
Don't Tell Pittsburgh. Ron
_Flem.
Flem. Check it out. We'll be looking for your new special in March.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.